Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. In today's video, we have an absolute blockbuster, and it is James Harden to the Los Angeles Clippers. So as I'm sure many of you know, James Harden opted into his $35.5 million player option, and him and the Philadelphia 76ers are working on a trade to get him to a new organization. Now, albeit this is not official, my prediction, my guess, if you will, is that he's going to end up with the Los Angeles Clippers. I think it just honestly makes too much sense. The pieces are there to make it happen, and I would really like to see Harden, PG, and Kawhi Leonard all play together. So this is an absolutely crazy one today. Complete and utter blockbuster. I think a lot of us assumed that James Harden would either end up signing with the 76ers, just re-upping with them on some sort of max deal, or maybe he would test out free agency. And for those of you asking why isn't he just leaving and declining his player option, then signing with a new team, well, it's because all the good teams don't really have a lot of cap space. There is some teams with some cap space. There's the Houston Rockets, the Pistons have some, but these aren't really good teams. I'm assuming at this point in his career, James Harden wants to go out and he wants to compete for a championship, and the only way to do that is to find a trade. So today we're sending him to the Los Angeles Clippers. I'll show you guys all the details in just a second, but man, oh man, this is a crazy, crazy one, and yeah, man, we've had a ton of blockbusters already, and free agency hasn't even started yet. I mean, wow, what? Nobody does the offseason quite like the NBA, man. I am excited. And speaking of free agency actually opens tonight at 6 p.m., so I'm sure we'll have all sorts of signings. There's not a great free agency class. Kyrie Irving's a free agent. Chris Middleton's a free agent. I mean, there are some players in here, but it's not the star-studded free agency class. So unless we see some more crazy trades, there'll only probably be one or two, maybe three free agency rebuilds, and again, we'll play it by ear. But as always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section, along with where you think James Harden will end up. Is he going to end up a Clipper? Could he possibly go to Miami? I mean, there's a bunch of teams that could be involved in this. I know the New York Knicks are a possibility, so there are options, and I am very, very excited, man. Let's get into this one. All right, so this is what the trade is going to look like between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Los Angeles Clippers. Norman Powell, Robert Covington, Terrence Mann, Amir Coffey, and a 2027 first. Now, I believe it would actually have to be a 2028 first. As it is, the Clippers already don't have a ton of picks dating back to the Paul George trade. Speaking of Paul George, I have had some people say that in all likelihood, maybe he would be in the trade. I don't really see that as a possibility, and let me tell you why. James Harden is not eligible to sign an extension with the Los Angeles Clippers immediately because I believe it's because he signed a 2-year deal with the Sixers. It's something like that. But he has to go to unrestricted free agency next year, which means no matter what, there is a possibility that the Clippers could lose him, and they're probably not going to give up Paul George for that to happen. So I'm just throwing this out there as a hypothetical. I do think this is a good one. I had actually a couple people suggest a similar structured trade to this, and this is the one we're going to be putting through. I also don't really know why Harden would want to go and just play with Kawhi. I mean, not that he's a bad player, but I think it makes a lot more sense. You have Harden, you have PG, and you have Kawhi there. So this is the one we're putting through. That is the final trade. We have legitimately no draft picks whatsoever. What a crazy, crazy deal. Also, if you were wondering why it says he's making $41.5 million, basically what ended up happening is James Harden in this game declines his player option, which means he went to free agency. I basically signed him to a 1-year deal with the Sixers and then just made the trade. I also went ahead and re-signed Russell Westbrook. Ignore the fact that he's making $23.5 whatever million. We all know that's not going to be happening. I'll likely end up changing that contract just a bit this offseason to maybe somewhere around 15, 16. I don't even know if the Clippers have that kind of money or if they're allowed to go that far up into the hard cap or whatever it may be. But hypothetically today, let's just pretend. So this is absolutely insane. Starting five of Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Ivica Zubac. I mean, absolutely bonkers. So what we have to worry about now is kind of getting the depth on board. That is something that we're definitely going to have to solidify, and I think it is something that's going to be really, really important for us here today. So obviously, I actually have to move Harden to the shooting guard spot, excuse me. So we're good there. At the point guard spot, I'm comfortable with, wait, did I include Bones Highland in the deal? Did I not do that? Wait, one sec. I meant to include Bones Highland, not Terrence Mann, so I actually went ahead and just swapped them back. That's my mistake. Not a big deal. All right, so in terms of depth on this team, it's not too terrible. I think there's some things we can definitely do, and let's just get into the depth that we do have. So obviously, Russ will be our starting point guard. Ignore the contract. I am a little bit nervous about his age, and again, I say that about pretty much all the stars on this team. It is they're definitely getting up there in age, which makes me a little bit nervous. And also, even if they get Harden, it's obviously not 100% that they would be retaining Russell Westbrook. I think Russell was probably going to have at least a few suitors. So I don't know if Russ ends up back here in today's hypothetical, in my want to establish this now, non-realistic rebuild. He's coming back. So Terrence Mann, now welcome back to the team, I guess, going to be our backup point guard. Jason Preston could get some minutes, could be in a deal, who knows. Shooting guard spot's obviously going to be James Harden. I do plan on getting Brandon Boston Jr. some minutes behind him. Want to see if we can develop him again, only 21 years old at that 74 overall. I think there's a little bit of potential there. So PG is going to be starting at the 3. We do have to find ourselves a backup 3. I am going to play Kawhi at the 4, which sounds a little bit weird, but in today's NBA, it really shouldn't matter too much. So he'll be starting there. I don't know how I feel about Marcus Morris or Nicholas Batum. These are guys that I maybe would look to move on from. I only say that because we have 4 stars on this team, or 3 in Russell Westbrook. I'm going to be nice. That's 4 stars on this team, and all of them are aging. I really have to go ahead and try to get some young players. Maybe if I move Morris and Batum, we can definitely go ahead and accomplish that goal. Then the center spot, I'm a big Ivica Zubac fan. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I suck with names. You all know that. But 26 years old, 81 overall. Definitely some room for growth there. So we are going to make some trades. I'm going to finalize moving around some positions, and I'll show you guys a move when I do have it. Our first trade is going to be coming here with the Houston Rockets. We're going to be sending them Marcus Morris and a second-round pick for Jae'Sean Tate. Jae'Sean Tate is obviously 6 years younger, and he's 1 overall higher. I think that's a smart move. They're both free agents at the end of this season. We'll see if we're able to re-sign him, but I do think it's a smart decision for now. He will be backing up Paul George at the small forward spot. Next trade is going to be coming with the Brooklyn Nets. We're sending Nicholas Batum, Jason Preston, and a future second for Deron Sharp and Jalen Wilson. We get a nice young center here who obviously is going to have a little bit of team control. At least I believe he does. At least a year, right? Yes, he does. Okay. I just wanted to double check there. But yeah, we're getting younger. We're obviously going to have guys that can develop instead of kind of regress. And I think that's overall a pretty good idea. So welcome to the team. We're excited to have you. And at this point in time, we're good with our backup center. We do need to find ourselves a new backup power forward. I mean, I know they drafted Kobe Brown. Maybe I can play him and get him some minutes. I mean, is that worth it? Also, yeah, I do see Kawhi's overall goes down at power forward. I mean, it makes sense. So fuck it. Why not? We're going to get Kobe Brown some minutes, backing up Kawhi Leonard. I mean, unless there's like a really good free agent here. Not really. And, you know, oh, I forgot about Mason Plumlee. Shit. All right. Well, that kind of hinders my plans a little bit. I completely forgot about Mason Plumlee. All right. Well, maybe Sharp gets moved now with Jalen. Yeah. I mean, I kind of did that to myself, to be completely honest with you. Not kind of. I did. Ooh. Caleb Martin and a draft pick. Welcome to the team. All right. We're doing that. That finalizes our 10-man rotation, a rotation that I am super excited about. And, yeah, man, I don't think it's necessarily championship or bust in year 1, but there's not exactly a ton of time we can give with this team because regression's going to hit, but obviously an extremely talented team, and I'm excited to see what happens. We'll see you guys at the start of year number 1. After a pretty insane offseason, we are here at the start of year 1, and it's not looking great. And I only say that because we can all see the overalls going down on all these players. I mean, again, it was kind of expected with the ages and how 2K works, so I know I said it just a couple seconds ago, but it kind of is championship or bust. Not 100% there, but if you think these overalls are bad now, it's only going to be way worse next offseason. So I'm happy with it. I'm hoping it works out. Here's how it's going to look. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Ivica Zubac starting 5. Bench is okay. It's Jae'Sean Tate, Mason Plumlee, Terrence Mann, Caleb Martin, and Brandon Boston Jr. So I don't know, man. I think we have all the talent in the world here. I wish I could turn back the clock like 4 or 5 years because this would be an absolute god squad at that point. But obviously 2 MVPs here. One of the best two-way players in NBA history. A guy in Paul George who I think is really underrated all time in basketball. But hell of a team. I really do expect to be probably top 3 minimum in the West. See you guys at the end of year 1. We go 57-25 at the end of our first season. And honestly, that's not too bad. I'm assuming it's top 2 in the West and I can live with it. Ja Wilkes Booth is your MVP. 32.5 points, 7 rebounds, nearly 11 assists. Very solid season from him. Victor Wembanyama, Rookie of the Year. Surprise, surprise. John Wall in Dallas. 6th man of the year. Maybe a little bit of a revival for John Wall's career. Love to see it. Dude, prime John Wall was so good. I remember him torching my Celtics when they had those playoff series. And dude, he was different, man. I wish his prime lasted just a little bit longer. Nick Claxton's your DPOY, Darius Garland, most improved, Quinn Snyder, coach of the year. So, yeah, surprise, surprise. As you can see up there, we're the 1 seed. That confirms it here with 57 wins. Warriors, Memphis, Lakers, kind of the other four in the, actually other three in the top four, if you will. And here's a look at the East. Anybody surprised the Atlanta Hawks are winning 66 games? I'm not. Here's a look at the numbers. James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi, Russell Westbrook. I mean, that's pretty solid. I mean, obviously, we have four guys that can all score the basketball pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and even out the scoring a little bit. So, who's it going to be? Wow, we have kind of the veterans versus some of the young talent in the league. But interesting first-round matchup. SGA, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, John Collins. I had put through the trade to the Jazz, so they must have made another trade, which is very, very interesting. But, yeah, man, let's just get through the Oklahoma City Thunder, hopefully. I mean, come on, right? Really? 2K. We're not doing this. Oh, this game drives me up a fucking wall sometimes. Good God. All right, well, that's obviously pretty much the worst way to end a season that you possibly can. And the fucking Atlanta Hawks, dude. Good God. All right, well, it is off-season number 2 now. A little frustrated, not going to lie, but we're going to battle through adversity here, and 2K's bullshit. But let's just keep going. So let's take a look at staff signing. Head coach Tyronn Lue. I'm good with him. He has good ratings. I'm very happy there. So let's head up to the draft now. I'm pretty certain we don't have our first-round pick, and yeah, we do not. So we're not going to trade for a draft pick. It just doesn't really feel like a smart thing to do. So Kawhi accepts, PG accepts. I'm bringing back Tate. Martin accepts. I'll bring back Jordan Miller as well. So that's actually pretty good for us. We don't have to stress completely about free agents. Anthony Lamb, probably not. Brandon Boston Jr. is somebody I'd like to get qualified, though. We take a look at free agency right now. Don't really have any major free agents. So we take a look at oh, my God. No. No. Fuck. No. Fuck. That sucks. That sucks. Russell Westbrook going to retire without a ring. All right, so my job now is to find ourselves a new starting point guard. I almost said point guard. A new starting point guard, and obviously that is that's a tricky one for us. Wait, did James Harden retire? No fucking way. What? Oh, he's just a free agent. I was like, what? No, that makes sense. All right, am I going to be able to get back James Harden? Because if I'm not, I'm completely fucked. This rebuild is basically all for nothing. Okay, it's going to let me pay James Harden. So that is a lot of money for James Harden, but I'm willing to do it. I have to make sure I get him back, so we're just going to do that and keep him happy. Yeah, he has no other offers. We're his only contract. So, all right, we're going to get James Harden back, which is good. I'm not going to announce Brandon Boston Jr. At this point in time. I do need to go ahead and find myself a new starting point guard or shooting guard. Obviously, Harden can run the one as well, so let's see what we can find. Not sure if it'll be possible, but I'd love to add Benedict Mathurin to this team. He'd obviously be an upgrade. He'd come in and be my new starting shooting guard. We would move James Harden back to the one. So, I mean, again, it's good because we're getting a younger player who, again, maybe not the greatest second season after a solid rookie campaign, but I'd love to do this pretty much no matter what. So we know the Thunder are going to be good. We're going to be good. That pick won't really matter. I'd like to save the Miami pick if possible. It does not look like we're going to be able to do that, though. So, yeah, we're basically giving up every single draft pick. Wow. Okay. Any other players I give up here? I mean, do you want Jordan Miller? Okay, they agree to it. That's a lot. That is absolutely a lot. I fully understand, but it's it was a necessary move. I mean, I have to go ahead and get an upgrade because we're still competing for championships. So, obviously, I am hurt to see Russ kind of retire without a ring. I mean, it would have been great to have him win one, especially with Harden. I mean, kind of back to the younger days of both of their careers, but couldn't end up happening. Kind of is what it is. So, I mean, our starting five's obviously good now. I'm comfortable with Caleb Martin being the backup there. Plumlee's going to likely regress, so I do get a little nervous there, but we do need to find some new backup guards. So let's see what the options are. Bogey's going to regress. I know that for a fact, but he's the best. Oh, shit. What the fuck am I doing? I have Brandon Boston Jr. I'm just losing my goddamn mind. But you know what? I actually do think Bogey's an upgrade over Jayshawn Tate. So we're going to move him to the 3. Tate's going to get traded for some sort of point guard. I mean, it makes sense to me. He's also an expiring deal. So point guard, please. Anybody. Or center. And then, Larry Nance Jr. And a draft pick. He's 31, though. Well, Bamba, Eubanks, fuck no. God, Dennis Schroeder. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. That's not a terrible trade. You know what? Yeah, let's pick up Dennis Schroeder. Let's do that. Welcome to the team. Solid veteran backup point guard that has definitely been there before. So welcome to the team, Dennis. Going to be backing up James Harden. All right, so we just need to bring back Brandon Boston Jr. At this point. We're basically all set. Again, Plumlee's getting a little old, so I'm a little nervous. So unless there's like a really good trade I can find just right off the rip, would I do straight up for Mo Wagner? I think I would. I think yeah. You know what? That's a straight up trade. We don't really lose anybody. Let's go ahead. Let's make that deal. So welcome to the team, Mo. I don't know what I want to do with Kobe Brown here because, albeit he is still young, I'm sure there's some potential. I think I'd prefer a first-round pick at this point, and I say that basically because I don't think there's minutes for him. So first-round pick from the New York Knicks, thank you very much. I'll wait on Brandon Boston Jr., and I will see you guys at the start of year number 2. As expected, regression is hitting us really, really hard. You can see Harden's down to an 85, PG 83, Kawhi 86. I mean, it sucks to see. I truly do think this is kind of it. I mean, if we're not winning this season, it's over. I mean, that's just the simplest kind of way to put it. So, James Harden, Ben Mathurin, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Ivica Zubac, bench unit, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Mo Wagner, Dennis Schroeder, Caleb Martin, Brandon Boston Jr. So, I really do think, I think this is it. I think Harden will probably be like an 82 at the start of next year. Paul George will probably be an 80. I think Kawhi will probably be around 83, 82. And that's just not a good direction. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. If we win it all this year, there's a high possibility this actually will be the last season. I know it's a James Harden rebuild, and it wouldn't be a James Harden rebuild without James Harden. So it doesn't make much sense. I mean, if I had it my way, I would blow this thing up and just get guys that are going to progress, not regress. But obviously, we know the goal. So let's go for it. We're shooting for the stars. We'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. Not a great regular season. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We only won 49 games, and we have nothing but a prayer is left for us to win a championship. So we will see, and I am nervous. LaMelo Ball is your MVP. Isaiah Collier, Rookie of the Year. Also wins 6 Man of the Year. I wonder is Lonzo still there? I don't know. Evan Mobley is your D-Point. Isaiah Stewart, Most Improved. Monty Williams, Coach of the Year. So we are the 1 seed still. That's fucking bonkers. The 49 wins took the 1 seed in the West. Absolutely insane. Here are the numbers. You see the young kid in Benedict Mathurin kind of taking over in terms of our leading scorer. And, I mean, Harden's still playing incredibly well. 17 and 10 it's also 47% from the field. I mean, that's fine. It hurts to see Kawhi, kind of regress like this, 41, 42% from the field. Paul George is still not playing terrible, but I kind of stand by what I said. I really do think this is championship or bust. And that's kind of the problem with a rebuild like this. And I'm sure people will say, well, just turn their end peak age up. And I would, but it feels a little cheap. Not once throughout the history of me doing rebuilds have I ever done that. So for this to specifically happen today, I mean, it would make sense, but it just doesn't really feel right. So that's why I'm not doing it if you're looking for an answer. And oh my God, why do we have to face the Oklahoma City Thunder here in round 1? Can we have a different result maybe? Okay, up 3-0. Thank you. Why couldn't we just do that last year with Russell Westbrook? Was that so hard? Minnesota here in round 2. Why is De'Aaron Fox here? And for timeout, why is Sacramento accepting a Karl Anthony Towns for De'Aaron Fox trade? That's insanity. Never mind the fact that Fred VanVleet's coming off that bench, but oh my God. God bless you, 2K. All right, we're currently down 2-1. We go 2-2. That was a big one. We go up 3-2, going to game 7. Okay. That's fine. I will hop in if I have to, and only if I have to, because I'd like to win, but I'd like to get finals gameplay. I don't want gameplay in the Western Conference semis, so we're looking good. Okay, slow the fucking phone. Jesus Christ. That got fucking close. Jordan Poole is now a New Orleans Pelican. Dyson Daniels, Brandon Ingram, Zion obviously still here. OG Anunoby's here? Oh, come on. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, well, again, all we got is basically a prayer, and we're up 3-0. Okay, and we're in the finals. We are in the finals, and god damn it. Oh, man, we have the Atlanta Hawks. Wow, what a Western Conference Finals from Kawhi Leonard, but man, oh, man, I do not want to see the Atlanta Hawks. Looks like they've lost DeJounte Murray, but still, man, the love that 2K has for this team is just so frustrating. It really is. We go 2-2 with them. We go up 3-2, so we're going back to LA, possibly close it out here in Game 6, and this would be the biggest miracle of all time. You win 49 games, your team's old as all hell, and you're winning a championship, so I'll see if I can hold on. So we are up 11 right now, and we're looking to get James Harden his first career ring. Obviously, that would be great. We can go backward, right? We're under 2 minutes. Okay, so I'll just talk about the possibility of this happening right now. Obviously, this would be an incredible team on paper, but I do get nervous with with the age of this team. That would definitely stress me out. Obviously, Kawhi and Paul George have some injury history. And again, I do think they'd be extremely talented. At this point, they would really probably solidify themselves as like, what the fuck's going on? As like a top 3, maybe 4 team in the Western Conference. Again, you're going to need some depth. So you're going to have to go out and get some guys. And who even knows if Russell Westbrook ends up coming back. So I do think this team would be really fun to watch. Obviously, seeing, an MVP play with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard would be great, albeit it's not this version of him. But I think James Harden had kind of an underrated year last year, especially in the playoffs. I mean, he was basically the only reason that Sixers and that Celtics series, oh, geez, that's a fast release, actually went to 7 games. I mean, he basically won them 2 games by himself. So it'll be fun. I'm assuming Los Angeles is where he's going to end up. I'm hoping and praying that they all stay healthy because I really do think it would be a fun team to watch. And I don't know. I don't think. I also just literally as I was recording this, I got a notification from Bleacher Report saying that Paul George was not being included in any trade talks. Not that anybody really thought he was going to be. I don't think that makes really much sense. So, I mean, just again, situationally, especially contract-wise, the fact that they're not able to sign him to an extension immediately, I don't think it makes much sense for Paul George to even be in those trade talks. So, and obviously, I think a pretty big key component of Harden wanting to go to Los Angeles would be to play with PG and Kawhi. So including him in the trade just doesn't really make a ton of sense. But yeah, man, it would be super fun to watch. James Harden, I was super surprised. We all assumed there was a possibility. Why is Doug McDermott in the game right now? We all assumed there was a possibility that he ended up, declining that player option and entering free agency, ultimately, ending up playing with another team next year. But I don't think many of us thought that he was going to end up doing this, accepting the player option, then kind of formally requesting that trade. And crazy to see, man. James Harden still got a lot to give. I know that for a fact. You can tell when watching him in the playoffs that he's on a mission still. He's still very, very good, and he's proven that here today in this game, especially because a 49-win team is going to be winning a championship here. This is the final season of the video. I'm sorry if it's short or you wanted to see a third season. It would have been pretty much completely pointless for me to do a third year. I mean, this team, one, is barely winning as it is. They're not going to run it back. And we accomplished our goal of getting Kawhi Leonard a ring. I so desperately wish that Russell Westbrook was on this team. Honestly, I should have checked retirement. If I did, I probably would have overridden it. But yeah, man, this is a cool image to kind of end the video on. You see James Harden, Kawhi Leonard shaking hands, get a ring together. And this was fun, man. So let me know your thoughts on a potential trade like this down below in the comment section in terms of the compensation that the Sixers would get. I don't think it's necessarily horrible because, I mean, what's kind of the alternative, right? If they don't trade him, then, I mean, I'm assuming he probably already had to accept the player option, but you understand what I'm saying. If they want something, they're getting something in return. In a hypothetical, they don't get anything. So, you know what I'm saying? He could have just declined and entered free agency. Obviously, it would have been less suitors for him, but you know what I'm saying. So, all right, man, that pretty much wraps this one up. It is free agency. Free agency opens at 6 p.m. Eastern today, and I will be very active on Twitter, giving my thoughts on pretty much everything. So if you guys want to follow me on there, stay active with me, feel free to do so. As always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. Oh, quickly, I also forgot. So here in the U.S., anyways, Tuesday is the 4th of July. So Monday and Tuesday, there probably won't be videos unless something super crazy happens and I have time to record more. Probably not. Wednesday, in all likelihood, I should be back. But again, I'm gonna kind of enjoy my 4th of July. Now that I'm a big boy with a big boy job as well, I don't get much time much availability and option to enjoy my free time. So I'm gonna do it when I have it. Hopefully that's okay with you guys. But if there's a major signing, like if Kyrie goes somewhere anywhere crazy, I'll do a rebuild immediately. But if there's nothing crazy, no big trades, then I'll probably end up waiting. But all right, man, that wraps this one up. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.